Hi, I'm going to depart from my typical YouTube channel video, which is to talk about injuries and how to solve them. And instead, I'm going to talk about something I did this past weekend, which was the North Fork 50K Ultramarathon. It was my very first ultramarathon, and an ultramarathon is anything longer than a marathon. So I could have gone maybe 100 yards more than a marathon, and then that would still be considered an ultra marathon. But this one I think ended up being about 31 miles. And boy, did I learn a lot about myself. So the first part of the ultra marathon, I kind of found a person who was running at a speed I thought was right. He looked like a real serious runner and so forth. But he was going very, very slowly. And so I stayed with him for about the first 10 or so miles. And he really helped me by holding me back from running the speed that I thought I wanted to run and preserving my energy for the later stages of the run, which I desperately needed, even with his assistance. So he was very helpful. And I found that these ultramarathoners can power hike up hills almost faster than I can run up hills. So I learned a lot about power hiking on this ultramarathon, which is critical for going up hills and preserving a lot of your leg strength. From my physical therapy standpoint, power hiking up the hill helped me recruit more of my hamstrings and glutes to get up that hill rather than relying on my calves and quads. So doing a power hike up the hill helped me preserve a lot of strength for later in the run too. And I was amazed at how quickly these people could power hike up a hill. I really struggled to keep up with them. So those were two good lessons, is to teach me how to hold myself back and remember that this is a long distance run rather than going out and trying to attack it. And then the second was learning how to power hike up hills fast. So after about 12 or 13 miles, I decided to leave this guy, and because I just felt it was going way too slow for what I wanted. And my goal was to finish the ultra marathon in about 7 hours or less. And so anyway, the 8 stations at the North Fork 50 were fantastic, plenty of food and drink and so forth. But I tend to move through 8 stations fairly quickly. I don't like to linger because I just want to get moving. And so that's why I ended up leaving him, is that he lingered a little longer. And so I just decided to leave early, and I thought, well, maybe he'll catch up with me at some point. So anyway, I continued the race, and up until about mile 24 or 25, I was feeling pretty good. I mean, I was fatigued, but I felt like, okay, I can do this. But then after that last aid station, I think it was around mile 25 or 26, I felt like I was pretty much wiped out. And so the last 6 miles or 5 or 6 miles of the race were basically downhill with some uphill. And my quads were trashed. I mean, they were cramping, I was fatigued, I was getting nauseous. And all I wanted to do was stop running. I walked frequently. I realized that even if I walked the rest of the race, it would take me forever to finish those last 5 or 6 miles. So I thought I might as well run. There's only one way for me to get out of the situation I put myself in, and that is to, run my way out of it. So when I could run, I did run. And when I had to walk, I walked. And I finally finished in just under 7 hours. So I could barely walk after that for the rest of the day. And it took me about 45 minutes to recover because I was so nauseous from running that distance and working so hard. But I think one of the things that it really helped me with was I've had this fever for the past 2 years or so of wanting to run ultra marathons and seeing how I would do. And I watch all these videos of these ultra runners who run 100 miles or 50 miles or 250 miles. And, they're all saying, oh, everyone can do this. Everyone can do this. And that may be true, but you need to be really dedicated to running in order to achieve that kind of outcome. And I realized that while I enjoy running, I'm not dedicated to it enough at this point in my life to commit to all the miles and time it would take me to build up to that level. So what was nice about that is that it really freed me from thinking that I needed to work harder and longer and, just, be in more agony to reach these goals, because really they're only self-imposed goals. There's no one expecting me to run 100 miles, and only myself. And then even that was just a dream. And so I'm giving up on that dream, but to me, it's not a sad thing. It's a freeing thing, because it's an artificial construct. I don't have to run 50 miles. I don't have to run 100 miles. I would do it if I felt I could, and right now I don't feel I can. Maybe a few years down the road, I will feel that I can. But right now, I'm gonna let go of that goal and be content with running perhaps marathons and some 50Ks. Because it's been about 15 years since I've run anything over 15 miles. And so this was a big jump for me to go from that kind of a distance to an ultramarathon. Now, I did have 2 runs, one of 18 miles and one of 20 miles prior to this, but in the last 15 years, that was the first time that's happened. So it has pushed me further than I thought I could go, because frankly, I didn't think I had it in me to ever run a marathon again. So this showed me that I was wrong about that I can run longer distances, and maybe I'll run longer distances going 50 miles or even 100 miles someday. But right now, I was so miserable at the end of that race that I just felt like, you know what, I'm good with this for now. I'm just gonna rest on my laurels and pat myself on the back and just kind of take it easy and see where all of this goes. So anyway, thanks for listening and watching all of my videos. I hope they've helped you. And maybe this video in some way, even though it's not about injuries, maybe it will help you reframe what your goals are and realize that, that maybe your goals are more self-imposed and no one else is expecting you to do these goals, in which case you can maybe ease off of the pressure on yourself from doing these kinds of things. And then again, maybe it may inspire you to, you know what, I don't think I can do that, but maybe I'm going to give it a try. And that's fine too. It's your life, it's your body. You have to do what you feel is right. And this was right for me at this time of my life. And I hope that helps you in some way. So thanks for being here and have a great day.